Dude, good to see you. You know, we're sitting on opposite sides of the table now.
We are.
It feels weird. It's like when, have you and your wife, have you and Sandra ever switched sides on the wrong side of the bed? It's weird.
It's horrible.
I'm okay with it. Rachel hates it. So if we go to a hotel, I just sleep on whatever side of the bed I flop on.
Yeah.
She still wants to be on the same side of the bed that she's on at home.
Yeah, because you sleep on that side. Like I sleep on the left side. I
Of
sleep
your
on
body.
my left side facing
away.
Facing
so
away.
You're not breathing on each other.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. You know what's funny? I never thought of that. I mean, I never thought that's why she wanted to stay on the same side. It's because of how we face.
And how long you guys been married?
Dude, it'll be 25 years this June.
Yeah.
25 years. You guys are like 11, 12? What are you?
15.
You're 15?
15. Yeah, man.
Whoa. Okay.
15 years.
Congratulations.
Yes.
I should be shaking Sandra's hand, not yours.
Yeah, how does she put up with me, right?
Well, hey, it is the new year.
Yes.
New things happening. So we figured out
2016.
2016.
Unbelievable.
We got to hit the ground running. We're a little bit late on this show. It's been a few weeks between, but holidays, Christmas, New Year's, everybody's slow.
And this is a special show. It's not a normal
Well,
show.
it is kind of a special show, yes, because at the end of today, we are giving away a couple really cool prizes.
Yeah.
2 prizes in the same category to 1 winner.
Yes.
But it's a good prize, good category. Hopefully you'll be the winner. We'll talk about that at the end.
Yes.
Hey, so here's what, in light of kind of what the prize is going to be and all that, here's what I thought we could talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, tomorrow morning, I'll be back by the time this goes live, but tomorrow morning I'm getting on an airplane and I'm flying out to Winona Lakes, Indiana to speak at Grace College. And I'm doing like Spiritual Emphasis Week and I'm doing a youth ministry training. And what they asked me to talk about...
On the lake?
Well, the college is kind of by this little lake.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably frozen over.
Some ice fishing?
Yes, exactly.
How do you get all these like very nuancy, niche-y type gigs? Like people call you from like the corners of the earth where you think no youth ministry is happening, and they find you.
No, but it's a Christian Bible college it's not like in the middle of nowhere.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a Bible college of 1,200 kids and.
Yeah, did you know this before you were going? Or
I know what
the college.
Well, I've done stuff for this college for 10 years.
Oh, okay.
But so 10 years ago, I didn't know that. Anyway.
You're like, I'm going to Timbuktu.
But what they asked was, they said, hey, can you come in and we would like to have you speak in our youth ministry class on the 5 most frequently asked youth ministry questions.
Oh, cool.
So in other words, we've got all these college kids who are going to rush out and do youth ministry in a year or 2.
Yeah.
Can you answer, proactively answer
these questions?
What you think the 5 biggest questions are that they're going to wrestle through in their first year or 2? Which
that's good.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
As I was whittling down 5, one that didn't make the cut because it's not in the top 5, but it is a question that gets asked all the time. In fact, we've gotten emails about it. By the way, if somebody has a question for the show, where do they email us?
talkyouthministry@gmail.com.
talkyouthministry@gmail.com if you have a show topic, suggestion, or a question. But one of the questions we get once in a while, I get people asking me all the time. It's not in my top 5, but it's a timely question, or a consistent question is, hey, where do you guys go? Where should I go to get ongoing encouragement, ongoing training?
Yeah.
Where do you sharpen your ministry saw, right? Like how do you stay fresh and sharp and encouraged? Who are you reading? Who are you connected with? And so we thought today we would just spend a few minutes talking a little bit about, hey, how do you stay fresh? How do you stay sharp? Where do you go for encouragement, accountability, learning new skills, etc., etc., etc. AC, talk to me about, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
This is going to be totally on the spot because your favorite book you've read recently that's helped your ministry, it doesn't have to be a youth ministry book, and just 1 or 2 sources like blogs or magazines, like where do you go, what are you reading? Yeah. So let's start with reading stuff.
Well, one book that's kind of like ongoing, that's kind of like in my...
The Bible.
Of course. Of course, every single book. But I would say, of course, I mean, that's a given. I'll explain a little bit more about the Bible usage, but there's one called Understanding My Teen by Mark, I think Ostrander, is that it?
Mark Ostriker?
Ostrander.
Yeah, Understanding
Yes.
My Teenager.
Understanding My Teenager. This book is awesome. And it's awesome because it's not like too heady, where the principles are kind of like I have to kind of like study something else to understand it. It's pretty much laid out in layman's terms for a lot of the stuff, but he deals very intentionally with aspects of the developmental process of the student, and so I go to that a lot. Not just, I've read it a few times now. One, I read it when I first started youth ministry, and then I read it again with one of my coworkers. But I just keep it handy.
Yeah.
It's a very practical one.
Yeah, that book it's written actually for parents.
Yeah.
But it's almost, and there's a few books like this, I think, for youth pastors. I would definitely put Understanding My Teenager as one of them. It's one of those, like, I'm going to reference it over and over and over again books.
Yeah.
Like my first 2 years in youth ministry. I mean, that book's 12 years old now.
Yeah.
But, man, that's an example of a book that when you're younger in ministry, you want that thing handy.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're going to reference it over and over. And so Understanding My Teenager is one that you're going to reference over and over,
Purpose Driven Youth Ministry is another one that I reference over and over. But one thing about, reading books, what I do like about the Understanding My Teenager is it does come from more of a parent perspective. Mm-hmm. And in just the last maybe year or so, we've kind of like taken on this huge initiative to really try to intentionally partner with parents, and it's really helped in like counseling one-on-one with students, and coming from a perspective of me not necessarily being the primary caretaker spiritually or physically of the student, thinking in that manner of, okay, as this child has parents, and so I want to be able to minister up to the point where I can, and then know when parents should be able to take over.
For myself, and what I would encourage people to think about would be, whether it's reading something or networking or going to a conference or whatever, which we'll talk about in a minute, it's okay to have stuff that's not thought through. It's okay to read stuff from people you disagree with and all that. I think you want to head into whatever you're reading kind of with a mindset of, okay, am I going to spend the next hour, or am I buying this book to really learn something that I need to learn, that I need to implement in my life or implement in my ministry? And if that's the case, I would typically suggest read stuff from trusted people.
Yeah.
Read stuff from people who you kind of know their angle, or their context might benefit your context. At the same time, it's okay to go, hey, for the next hour, or I want to read a book from somebody I disagree with, because I want to kind of expand my thinking a little bit. I want to see things from a different perspective. I always try to read stuff from people who I know and trust and believe in, or agree with, not believe in. Know, trust, agree with. I like to read stuff from people who I know and trust, but disagree with.
Yeah.
Just because we disagree with somebody doesn't mean I don't trust you.
Yeah.
Right? I just disagree.
You want to expand your thinking, solidify your beliefs.
Yeah. And by the way, I also read stuff from people who I don't know, I don't trust, and I disagree with. I just read stuff.
Yeah.
I read that stuff differently than I read this stuff.
Yeah.
Because they haven't earned the right to influence me. They haven't earned the right to speak into my ministry. They haven't earned the right to challenge my thought process the way these people have.
Yeah.
But I still want to read it, because God can use any of these people I know, trust, and agree with, people I know, trust, and disagree with, people I don't know, I don't trust, and I disagree with. God can use any of those voices.
Yeah.
The Holy Spirit can, I hope, to spark something in me.
Yeah.
But I would just give a little bit, kind of like proportionately less of my heart, time, thinking. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give more to these people, a little bit less to these people, and a little bit less to these people.
In that category, I would put, for me, is like just the creative side, because that's another thing for youth ministry. It's always, I mean for ministry in general, if you're not thinking creatively, I think you're missing out. Like if you're not challenging yourself to think as creative as possible, you're missing out. And sometimes that doesn't fit in those standard areas.
Right.
So sometimes you have to definitely think outside of the box, meaning you have to go somewhere. Like if I was reading what was going on in the world, what kids are challenged with in school, but with their faith, their morals, maybe it comes from a place of a Kanye West book or a
has he written a book? Has Kanye West written a book?
If he has not written one, it's in the books.
Well,
but a lot of his
after he becomes president, he'll have to write his memoirs.
That's true. That is true. I watch a lot of interviews from a lot of current people just to hear what they're saying, just to hear their mindset on certain things and where culture is kind of like leaning from what majority of those who have some influence in the world is saying in their interviews. And sometimes that sparks training. Sometimes that sparks devotional. Sometimes that sparks, just things that we could, because your students are hearing the same thing.
Right.
And more than not, it's shaping their worldview.
Right.
And just to be in that world and go, of course, I love what you say about you read it differently. Right. There's different perspectives going into that. And so, but don't be afraid of it. As a growing leader in youth ministry.
Okay, let's move quickly forward.
Yes.
So that's all reading stuff. From a rubbing shoulders with people, hearing people, going to conferences, etc. What I try to do is and I'm not good at this every year, but my strategy is I want to have some local connections. So local youth pastors that I get together with. Today, after this, I'm having coffee with a local youth pastor just to rub shoulders and touch base. I try to do something sort of like a one-day getaway once a year. So like a one-day training someplace that somebody's hosting. Usually that's a little bit more local because I'm not going to fly or drive 8 hours for a one-day training. But something a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
Those are sometimes really intensely focused. So you might get a one-day training on how to deal with hurting teenagers, or a one-day training on talking to teenagers about sexuality, or a one-day training on, the theme today is developing a volunteer team. Yeah. So I try to find a one-day training to go to once a year. So kind of this ongoing networking, one-day event, and then one multiple day. I'm kind of in this pattern today.
Maybe I'll crop that out.
I like the fact that I haven't bit my nails in a while, so they look good. And then the other one is this, the idea of getting away from multi-day conference. Yeah. There's so many great conferences. Yeah. The Orange Conference, Youth Specialties. And the one that we want to talk about very quickly as we wrap up is AC.
SYMC.
The return.
Simply, yes.
The return.
Well, for some, it's the return.
Well, I see what you're saying. For some, it's the return.
For some,
it's brand new.
It's brand new. But it's simply Youth Ministry Conference.
Yeah.
I would say it's one of the staple conferences.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
In youth ministry. It's coming back. It's in October from the 7th through the 9th. It's in Chicago. Mm-hmm. It's going to be awesome.
It's the return. They have done it. This will be, what will this be, like year 12 or something? And they've taken, maybe not year 12, year 9, I don't know. But they took 1 year off to kind of reboot it, to reevaluate it, to make it better. It's going to be better than ever. Yeah. As we speak, all the meat's getting put on the bones. It's in Chicago, 3 days. Here's what I love about getting away for 3 days. Yeah. Whether it's the Simply Youth Ministry Conference or not, we think it's the best conference. Yes. We're probably biased because we've gone there a lot, and we've seen it, and we know the people, we know the organization behind it, and we trust them. But what I love about getting away for 3 days is, and Simply Youth Ministry Conference I think does this the best, is it's a big pep rally, right? So you feel encouraged. It's a networking, rubbing shoulders with youth pastors that you only see once a year. Yeah. Youth pastors that you only see twice a year. And you get to, it's like a family reunion. Yep.
From all across.
It's super inspirational because they bring in amazing big name guest speakers. They have tons of deeper learning workshops. Yep. They have resources. So you kind of get everything we've talked about. You kind of get in 3 days.
In 3 days.
You get access to great reading materials and training, something you can pick up and take home. You get networking. you get these like you can take a 1-day class usually or a half-day like deeper learning track.
Yeah.
So you kind of get that how to talk to a teen about sexuality intense.
Yep.
And then you also just get this big party atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's unlike anything else out there. So if you are sitting there and you're saying, man, I need some encouragement, I need to get some training. You might be in a good spot in your ministry, you might be in a struggling spot in your ministry. We can't recommend enough, and we're super stoked about the return of the Simply Youth Ministry Conference. October, we wrote on our board 7th through 9th in Chicago.
Yeah.
Now, in honor of that, we're gonna give away two.
Well, let me set this up because this was something that we kind of like thought about in terms of launching the new. I mean, with the conference coming back, is on the premise of not doing ministry alone. We get to give away two free registrations.
That's like
Simply Youth Ministry Conference.
It's like a $700 prize.
Yes.
They got to get there. They got their hotel and all that.
Yes.
The registration, which is $349 or something, is free for 2 people.
2 people.
Okay. How do we do
Two
it?
people on the.
Here's how you win.
One person. This is how you win. You share this. You share this show.
Okay.
Share this show on your social media. You'll see it on the youthministry.com page. You can share it to your Twitter, your Facebook. However you share it, you want to tag it, hashtag SYMC 2016.
Gotcha.
And what we'll do is, in a few weeks, we'll gather up
the thousands upon thousands of
shares from the 6 people who are going to watch the show. And then we're going to choose a winner. They get 2 free admissions.
So if they do a tweet about the conference and hashtag they're not in the drawing, they have to share this podcast.
Yes, share the podcast.
This episode.
And hashtag SYMC 2016.
2016. They can do it 10. If they do it 10 times, their name's in the drawing 10 times.
Yes.
If they do it one time, their name's in the drawing one time.
And the reason why we want to do this also is because you shouldn't do ministry alone.
Right.
And it's important. There are a lot of, believe it or not, a lot of our letters are from youth ministry.
Totally. And that's what's
youth ministry.
And that's what's crazy about you go to a conference like the Simply Youth Ministry Conference, and you get there and you're not alone.
Yeah.
There's 2,000 other youth pastors in the room.
Yeah.
Youth workers.
Yeah.
And yet, if you go there by yourself, it's still really easy to feel all alone. And besides that, you learn all this awesome stuff, you get all this awesome training, and then you're not sharing it with anybody. There's nobody else on your team who's kind of in the boat.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you go to a conference and you come back and you're like, "Hey, we're making all these changes," and everybody's going, "Oh man!"
And everybody's like,
"Why did we let him go to a conference?"
Yeah.
And so at least when you go with one other person,
you have somebody backing you up.
Or you have somebody on the way home on the plane to say, or in the car, "Hey, should I make these changes?"
Yeah.
And then, no, hey, Pastor AC, not yet, buddy.
Be careful. Let's stretch it out. Don't.
Okay. So to wrap it up today.
She'll share the show.
Share the show. Hashtag SYMC
2016. And they want to partner with us. So we could be giving away some more.
What?
Yes, we could be giving away some more. So
some more conferences, some more
resources, all the above. So share it. Get your name in the drawing.
This was like the world's longest show.
It is. But it's worth it.
2
free admission to the SYMC conference.
Hey, we'll see you next time.